Hi gang, want a trailer reaction video for Super Mario 3D All-Stars? It is him, Mario. How exciting. It's the 35th anniversary of Super the Mario or something, and Nintendo has announced a collection of classic Mario 3D games. At last, how exciting. Now, there's one reason we're talking about this, and judging by the emails I got this morning, it's the one thing you want me to talk about. It's the fact that this classic collection of games will only be available for a limited time. Because of course. Because Nintendo. Because chuffing Nintendo. So anyway, this collection of games will be available on September 18th. And it's got your Super Mario 64, and your Super Mario Sunshine, and your Super Mario Galaxy, not 2. And it'll be available September 18th, and only until the end of March next year. So you got like under half a year to get hold of this collection of old games that in no way need to be limited at all. And this goes for physical and digital. Oh yeah, that's right, don't you worry about it, folks. End of March, it's gone. It's just gone. In a move highly reminiscent of the Disney Vault, that's what I've seen this get compared to a lot. Disney's little scheme where it would restrict the availability of various classic Disney films on home video to basically, you know, keep them valuable in their opinion. Basically, it's a manufactured scarcity. Contrive a sense of value for a product by limiting who can get it. Create that FOMO, that fear of missing out, create a sense of haves and have-nots. In some cases, it can become an actual status thing. You get a whole bunch of free headlines from news sites that will lap up stories about something selling out in record time, and you never have to drop the price, because it's only available for a while, so there's no chance for the price to degrade. If you ever re-release it, it's quote-unquote new. And ultimately, it's just another way in which triple capitalism can't just make things and fucking sell things. It's always got to be that little bit extra complicated, that little bit extra dig in the ribs of the customer. There's always a catch, there's always a loophole, there's always an opportunity for the customer to trade in their dignity as well as their money by falling over themselves to prove their worth and prove that they themselves are worthy of handing over their money that they worked for to a corporation, after which that money will filter its way up through the corporate ranks to people who distinctly didn't earn that money. Oh, we've long moved on from the Super Mario 3D All-Stars trailer. We're on Super Mario Bros. 35. It's a Battle Royale. I've just squashed a whole bunch of Mario announcements together because, let's face it, this video is not a strict reaction one-to-one for each trailer. It's a vehicle for me to get on my stupid big old high horse again. A big old Trojan horse nonetheless, because that's more or less what this video series is. Slightly different presentation, just another excuse for me to go off on one. Oh, the Battle Royale is limited as well. That's going away at the end of March 2021. Fucking hell. So anyway, I have accused Nintendo in the past of manufacturing scarcity because that's what Nintendo does. I've spoken to people who work in the stores who get the shipments from Nintendo and maybe get 3 consoles at a time. We've seen the same pattern for years and years and years of things Nintendo makes arbitrarily being unavailable, being so severely understocked it's either on purpose or gross, and I mean gross incompetence, and it's not that. You know, Jimquisition art director Justin used to work at Target, and he says the interactions they have with Nintendo is like interacting with a toy manufacturer. You know, the toy companies that come together with these hot new Christmas fads, Hatchimals or what have you, and then understock it. So it's like, oh, I can't get any Teletubby dolls for my child for Christmas. That shows you how old I am. I still remember when Teletubby dolls were the big shortage. Well, actually, the first one was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which in the UK at the time was Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Anyway, that's how Nintendo approaches its products, like Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. They had to be called Hero in the UK because there was a moral panic about the idea of ninjas. Seriously. So I've said Nintendo manufactures scarcity based on Nintendo's behaviour and history in its manufacturing of scarcity, and there are people who have defended Nintendo and said that's not what Nintendo does, and Nintendo itself claims it doesn't do this. And are we gonna pretend they don't now that they are literally, blatantly, in the open, making digital versions of something of which you can copy infinite times scarce. This is literally manufactured scarcity. There's a digital copy that can be duplicated exactly over and over and over again, forever, that they will just stop selling. And that's it. They will just stop. So let's not keep up the farce. Let's not claim that Nintendo doesn't manufacture scarcity anymore. You literally can't get a clearer example of manufactured scarcity than Nintendo manufacturing scarcity. Here's a game. Here's its release date. Here's its cutoff date. We've already decided it won't be available. Now, on the last Gymquisition, I spoke about having to register your interest to maybe get an invite from Sony to pre-order a PS5. I've made mention in some other places as well about this idea that we are increasingly having to prove our worth to companies, rather than the companies making things that are worth buying that we want and can just buy. It's an unnaturally natural knock-on effect of credit checks and having to apply for an apartment like a job interview because you've got to prove you're trustworthy enough to pay rent, but the landlord doesn't have to prove they're trustworthy enough to take the rent. Products go to the loyalist customers, the customers that rush to buy something early. At full price, one might add. Bonuses go to the pre-orderers after all, and PS5s go to people with a history of buying PlayStation products. Between pre-order bonuses and founders packs, and launch day DLC, and daily login bonuses, and daily and weekly challenges, and rotating Fortnite-style storefronts, games are more and more trying to prey upon the anxieties of customers, that fear of missing out, that phenomenon that you've got to be connected, got to be part of the ongoing conversation, got to be experiencing the latest product. Now, some will look at what Nintendo's doing and shrug and say, well, that's just a Nintendo move, and in just an isolated case, in a bubble, yes, this is Nintendo pulling a classic Nintendo and being really fucking Nintendo about things. But I've always said slippery slope arguments are not fallacious in the game industry because whenever they see an incline, they cover it in soap. So I will just say, if you look at this and shrug and think, it's just Nintendo, ask yourself this: how would you react if Electronic Arts pulled something similar? Or Activision Blizzard. And just remember that FOMO is something that many corporations, including video game ones, are harnessing right now. We did an entire Gymquisition episode on it last year. So, you know, be careful. And let's stop pretending that Nintendo doesn't pull the shit it's clearly pulling.